The first word, vocabulary term you might hear when talking about pets is adopt. Adopt. So let's say you don't have a pet. You might go to a place called an animal shelter. I think that's the next one. Yeah. You might go to a place called an animal shelter. That is where dogs, cats, maybe a few other animals will stay if they don't have any owners. There will be people there who will take care of them, but you can go there, and the verb we use is to adopt. So if you take a cat or a dog home with you from a shelter, we would say you have adopted that pet. You are now that pet's owner. And I have a sentence for you right here. It says you could go to an animal shelter and adopt a pet. You could go to an animal shelter and adopt a pet. So those are our first two English vocabulary terms we use with pets. Here's another term that you might hear: stray. A stray animal is an animal that is walking the streets and they don't have an owner. Maybe they got lost. Maybe their owner didn't want them anymore. We would call that animal a stray. You might have a stray cat. You might have a stray dog. An animal shelter is where stray pets will end up. Now, I wanted to introduce that phrasal verb to you because we use it quite often in English. It doesn't have really anything to do with pets. I mean, you could use it with pets. I just did. But let's talk a second about end up. If you don't know that English phrasal verb, well, guess what? You will. You will right here. End up, it means like the final place. Got a couple sentences for you. Now, I don't think this is you, but let's say a very bad person is doing bad things. If you don't stop doing bad things, you will end up in jail. So it's like the final thing. After many things, it's the final thing. Now, this one, I hope is true for you. I'm going to use end up in another way. Hopefully, you will end up studying English for the rest of your life and become really good at it. End up. End up. So by the end of this English lesson, I hope you end up learning many terms we use with pets. End up. It's a phrasal verb we use all the time. Doesn't just have to be with pets. All right, back to the pets though. We talked about shelter. Now let's talk about breed. Breed. A dog breed is the type of dog it is. We have poodles. One of the dogs in that picture is a poodle. The one all the way on the right, the white dog. Poodles, Great Danes. That darker dog on the left, it's a Great Dane. You might also hear in English boxers or French bulldogs. So the breed of dog is the type of dog it is. But if you know anything about dogs, most of them probably aren't purebred. We'll talk about that word in a minute. If a dog is purebred, they are only one breed. So a poodle, its father was a poodle, its mother was a poodle. It is a purebred poodle. You might hear this term though. Mutt. Mutt. A mutt is what we call a dog with different breeds. And if you go to the shelter most of those animals will be mutts. It's usually a little more expensive to get a purebred dog. That's in the United States, and I also think that is every country. So if your dog has only one breed, it is a poodle, it is a Great Dane, it is an English Bulldog, it's going to be purebred and a little more expensive for you to buy. Fayez is here. Hey, Betty Lou, welcome. All right. I think the music is also relaxing for me. I love to put it on when I'm studying. When I'm studying my Italian. I see Talk Italian with Arone is here. And when I'm putting together a lesson for you, I will often put on lo-fi music. That's what we call it in English. That's the music that's playing in the background. It's probably called lo-fi in your language too, right? Fayez, yes. The dog that I own, the dog that my wife owns, is not purebred, but its parents were purebred. So it was a French bulldog and a pug. Those are a couple types of breeds. And the dog we have in our house is a frug. F-R-U-G. Frug. Renata has not had a dog in a long time. I wish I could say the same. Blissful Mummy. Hey, we don't usually use, the question is, can we use hybrid instead of mutt? And we don't. We don't usually use this for animals. Hybrid. We might use it for a vehicle, for a car. And hybrid means it has a little bit of two or more things. So a hybrid car will run on electricity, but it will also run on gas. So it seems like we could use that for dogs that are mutts, but we don't. Oh, hey, Freddie Wolf, wait. We're going to talk about cage. We're going to talk about crate. So his question is a cage and an animal shelter similar? No. Animal shelter is the actual building you would go to adopt your pet. Now, they might be kept in cages or kennels or crates, and we are going to talk about all three a little bit later in the lesson. Okay, I'm glad, Ray. Hopefully this question came up at least twice. So hopefully, is mutt the same as hybrid? No, we don't use those for dogs. Yeah, for the most part. At least a dog you would have in your house? No. Renata, have you seen... Actually, we're not going to use kibble. We're not going to talk about kibble. So Renata has a question about kibble, and that is not one of my slides. So let's talk about it right now. Hey, Brent, I have a real quick question. I hope you see it. I did. What does kibble mean? I won't send it again. It's okay. Please don't spam the chat. But if I missed your question, put it in again. Maybe I will see it. Kibble. It's almost like a little treat you give to a dog or a cat. Kibble. It's going to be small, probably just one or two pieces, but it's what a dog can eat or a cat. And it's usually special. Some people might use it as giving their dog some kibble as a meal, but it's usually just like little special treats. It's food.